you have there, line 4 or 7? Anyone got a better translation there? Okay, mine's good enough, fine. This sounds pretty real to me. And there, you see the capital of Aram, line 8, is Damascus. So you see it is Syria. And what's the capital of Ephraim, my friends? Line 9 there. What I told you. Samaria. But is that in Hebrew, Samaria? We just said that in English. What do you think that word is in Hebrew? It's nothing like what it sounds here. It's Shomron. This is already Latinized, Romanized, Greckified. It's Shomron, which is much more impressive than Samaria. Shomron. The heads of Shomron, or Samaria, the son of Ramaliah, 6 or 7 years more, and Ephraim will be no longer a people. So he knows the north is going to be shattered. So it's the same time frame as Hosea and Amos, and the north is really going to catch hell. That's line 9 of chapter 7. Okay, more narrative mixed in here. So they do mix the narrative in here, and not just at the end. Ahaz answered, I'll put the Lord to the test. And I guess it's the Lord speaking now. Listen, house of David. And he means not several years later, he's talking right then. Are you satisfied with trying the patience of men and God? Look, I'm going to give you a sign. And of course, this is part of the handle and the material taken out of this particular error, put another error. Behold, a maiden will conceive, and a son will be born, and he will be called Emmanuel. Well, we know all about that, as far as totally popular to this day, but it's totally out of the context, isn't it? This context is 7th century BC. And only someone who's got the most vivid imagination could knock it down 700 years later. It's like saying something written in Petrarch's time that relates to George Bush. I don't imagine that. Well, I just don't imagine that you'd be able to say it very easily. Anyway, she will call him Emmanuel, and Emmanuel is God is with us. El, as you know, is God. Imenu, with us, is God. And we make a name out of it. Imanu is with us. El is God. God is with us. Emmanuel. And he will know how to behave and not be evil. And Ephraim, the time will come when everything is going to be ruined. It will be as bad as when Ephraim broke away from Judah. When was that, folks? When did Ephraim break away from Judah? When the kingdom separated after Solomon's time. See, Ephraim is always, even clearer here, the name of the Lord. So the fact that Joshua is an Ephraimite hero, all this has to be weighed and explained to yourself. I can't give you all the answers on this. Anyway, all this incredible imagery here about mosquitoes, Egypt, Syria, though. A sword, a knife from beyond the river. What's the river? The one that poor Marines are getting killed along today. The Euphrates River. It's Fallujah. That's basically what we're talking about here. Right near Fallujah is right on the river. That's where they hung the poor guys up on the bridge there. Head and hairs of the body too.
Can you go in depth, since you got a good depth in Hebrew, about Alma?
About what?
Alma?
No, I really can't. I mean, it's either you want to think of it as a virgin or just it's a maiden. The normal view of it is it was mistranslated to mean, the perpetual virgin, immaculate conception, everything else. But most young women were considered to be pure when they were going to get into marriage, and it's just maiden. I don't know, my Hebrew is not good that I could really get into that. You can look at further yourself. He's translated here maiden. Someone else wants to make it more technical version. Anyway, so more imagery in chapter 8. Take a seal and scratch on it. I don't even know. Masher shall hashbaz or something like that. Maher shall hashbaz. So they get a witness, Uriah and Zechariah. And more of this sort of Hosea personal stuff. Call him Maher shall hashbaz. But you see, it's all about Samaria and Assyria, you see. I can't even think how you can grab that and put it in another context, but anyone can do anything, I suppose, with biblical scripture. So we've got Samaria, problems then, king of Assyria, Damascus. I don't even think they know there is such a place as Rome. Anyway, Emmanuel, line 8. Judah, Syria, Ramaliah, the waters. I mean, Emmanuel's in that context. It's pretty abstruse stuff, though, I agree. Anyway, he hides his face from Jacob, line 17. These are the children the Lord gave me. And the Lord of hosts, line 18, dwells on Zion. Now, here's another passage taken in the scripture, applied to Jesus going to preach in Galilee in the Gospel of Matthew. Zebulun and Naphtali, in the days to come, there will be glory by the way of the sea on the far side of the Jordan, province of nations. And that is taken to relate to events of Jesus' life in Galilee. I mean, that's out of context. You can take it like that if you want, but it's just ripped right out of this, like taking a garnet out of a rock. In any case, I'm not sure what the meaning of that is. It's Zebulun and Naphtali are in the north somewhere. But the province of the nations is, I think, Galilee of the nations, because I think Galilee was like, the view is like the fertile, Fertile Crescent, where all the peoples were along the mountains on the other side of the Jordan, all the way over to Assyria. It was like the Fertile Crescent. That's why it's called the Fertile Crescent. And Galilee means like a Gilgal, like a wheel. So I don't think it literally means Galilee, the province of the north. I think it really means Galilee, like we say, the Fertile Crescent, all the way to the Assyrian Euphrates. Anyway, that's